It's a fine Friday. A brand new Fox poll shows Donald Trump widening his lead in the race for the Republican nomination. He's now hit his highest number yet in this poll. Trump is ahead of Ted Cruz, 45 to 27% nationally among GOP primary voters. That's an 18-point lead. Just 3 weeks ago, he was only up by 3 points. Voters also giving Trump the best chance to beat Hillary Clinton in a general election matchup with 42%, another 18-point lead over Cruz. But it's not all good news for Donald Trump. The poll also contains potential warning signs. Take a look. Only 33% say the real estate mogul has the right temperament to be an effective president. On this score, he trails far behind not only Ted Cruz, but the Democrats as well. You're squeaking like a mouse, Melissa. What's going on?
Temperament.
What's going on?
I don't know. It's such a funny question, the right temperament. It just shows, I mean, you know, he wrote an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal today, and if you just looked at the headline, which said, "How is this system working out for you and your family?" If he would just stick to that message, I mean, I think that resonates on every side. I heard a Democrat on television this morning saying, "I'm a registered Democrat. My choices right now are between a socialist and a criminal, so I'm going to vote for Trump." And if he would get away from, you know, sort of this petty, your wife, this one, this, all, and maybe that's where the temperament thing comes in. But, you know, in the Wall Street Journal, he was talking about Colorado, which I think is lost on a lot of people, but it's symbolic of, is this system in general, the way the country is running, is that working for your family? I bet it's not.
An overarching issue. So, Speaker, it is an interesting thought, right? I mean, a high tide raises all boats, and I know you've talked about trying to get the focus on the things that matter. But Donald Trump says, look, you got to fight the fight that you're in right now. So sometimes it gets personal, sometimes it gets something else. What would you say?
Well, I mean, first of all, anytime I deal with somebody who's a winner, I'm inclined to, you know, whether it's, you know, a football team or it's a golfer or in this case a politician, I'm inclined to at least give them the benefit of the doubt. This guy, he has literally been the front runner since June 16th. He has done it more cheaply than anybody in history. He gets more earned media by just being interesting. And so it's worth studying him, and it's worth thinking about what's he doing. He started out with a total of 17 candidates, 16 others. And his technique of brutalizing people and being petty worked. I mean, you can like it or dislike it, but it worked. Now he's in a different game. I mean, and last night I thought, but I was watching him on Megyn Kelly when they cut to the New York GOP dinner, and Trump was there in a tux, and he gave a very calm 19-minute speech about New York values that I thought was very effective, and I mean, he felt presidential at that point. Now the question is, can he resist tweeting stupidly?
His wife, we all do that sometimes. He would listen to her about that.
She should just take it away. She's supposed to say, Donald, not now. Take it away from him.
So one of the things that we looked at in the polling that I just showed, or that we just showed, was the fact that in Fox polling, it looks like he has the best chance to beat Hillary Clinton. Does he do it the same way, just to kind of dovetail off of what you just said?
Well, I don't know. I try to remind people that I was active with Reagan when he was 25 points behind Jimmy Carter in the spring of 1980. I helped George H.W. Bush when he was 19 points behind Dukakis in May. When elections, you know, when you get past the confusion and the chaos after the convention, if the choices are large enough, I believe Trump both has the largest upside and the largest downside of any candidate. I mean, if he goes sour, it'll be a real disaster. If, on the other hand, he takes that personal energy and drive, and there was something you guys said earlier about, you know, is the right person to sit in the Oval Office, and my reaction was, he won't.
Exactly. It won't matter.
He'll walk around the Oval Office. He'll be pacing constantly. But here's the deal. I don't know anybody else on the Republican side who'd have the nerve to go into the south side of Chicago and say, your children shouldn't be getting killed. Your young children should be getting an education, and there ought to be a job in this neighborhood, and actually break through the old political machinery and lead a lot of African Americans to say, gee, that's kind of interesting.
Not even a current president who's actually from Chicago.
Well, he could if he wanted to.
When it comes to temperament, though, you just wonder, is there a temperament of the president that people are, is there a definition of what that looks like? I say that, Speaker, as I look at some of the most successfully run companies